Hey everyone, this is Cynicaldoc. I am bringing to you another audio commentary for WC Replays. Of course, I think you'd figure that one out, considering the fact that you probably downloaded it from there. Anyway, this game is actually going to be a little bit different than my other audio commentaries, simply because of the fact that I'm not the one playing in it. I am an observer in it, though, and it's actually from our WC3M matchup. Now, I'd like you to get the matchup paused at the 1 minute mark. I'm pretty sure most of you guys know who these two players are. MTW Wizard is exactly who he says he is. He's MTW Wizard. He's a United States player, plays for MTW, really good, NightElf. His opponent is Last Man Dancing. Now, if you don't know, though I'm pretty sure everyone does at this point, Last Man Dancing is Mad Frog. It's the alias he used in the tournament to avoid everyone whispering him and stuff like that during the tournament. So, we've got this matchup on Twisted Meadows, and you're going to see a couple of strategies. Wizard uses his common idea of getting mercenaries. He tries to use those along with trying a fast expansion. And Mad Frog, on the other hand, is just going to go with some ghouls and a Death Knight, and you'll see how this turns out later on. So, if you get that unpaused in 3, 2, 1, unpause. Alright, so as you can see, the opponents are right next to each other, and early on I believe Wizard's going to lose one of his wisps. What he's going to do is he's going to try and sneak a wisp back. You can watch it now. He's going to try and sneak a wisp behind the mercenary camp. I'm sure most of you have seen this, and you realize that if you can get a wisp back there, you can use the mercenary camp and then get mercs out without the golem realizing that it's happening, so you can do it during the day or night. None of the creeps will see it happen, therefore they won't get pissed off at you. It works best for NightElf because they can, just sit their wisp back there, and see, there it goes right now. It got a little bit too close to the golem, pissed it off, and so that wisp is going to die. So that's going to put Wizard behind just a little bit early on. He's going to have to send out another one there. Here you've got Mad Frog. He's going to be checking out with the ghoul as well what his opponent's doing. Taking a look at both players' bases, you can see that you've got a Death Knight building for Mad Frog, and he's just going ghouls with the Tomb of Relics early on. He's not getting a graveyard or anything. I believe he doesn't get his graveyard until after he techs. Most people, I believe, go ghoul-garg in NightElf versus Undead, or at least that's what a lot of people seem to complain about from the NightElf standpoint, is how do you beat ghoul-garg. And I believe Wizard's, thinking ahead, he's probably expecting to see the ghoul-garg here, so he's going to basically forego the Huntresses, because the Huntresses really aren't going to do much. You just kind of run the ghouls by them, you focus the Huntresses with the gargoyles, and you focus the archers with the ghouls, so, you've got everything countered there. Once the archers are dead, there's nothing the Huntresses can do to the gargoyles, so it doesn't really matter if you end up losing the ghouls or not. Once the archers are dead, that's all you really need them for. So here you got the Warden basically just going, harassing the ghouls and the Death Knight. Now, I don't agree with what the Warden's going to do here. She's going to Shadow Strike the Death Knight on Blight. It's going to end up doing like 30 damage total. It was basically a waste of 65 mana, in my opinion. A better idea might have been to Shadow Strike the ghoul that's already low on hit points and force the Death Knight to use a coil on it. That way you lose 65 mana, he loses 75 mana. Shadow Striking the Death Knight off the Blight might work fairly decently, especially if you've got other units around to support you with. As you can see, the Warden really didn't accomplish much here going after the Death Knight. I mean, he's going to end up losing about half his hit points, but he'll get those back really quickly on the Blight. And the Warden, on the other hand, is going to have to run all the way back, use her wells to get her health and mana back, and she's in no better position than the Death Knight is. But as you can see, Wizard does have a Shadow Priest with him. That priest, as you can see, just kind of snuck out the back of that mercenary camp there. Now, the northern mercenary camp can't do that, because any way you try and look at it, the mercenary is going to end up waking something up. Well, it might not. At nighttime, I'm not positive about this. You might be able to get it out at nighttime, but during the day, the ogre is going to be in your way. Plus, I believe the way that the mercenary pops out, I think it'll just pop out right next to the golem, so you'd be screwed that way. I am watching this with Fog of War off, by the way. If you want to watch it with Fog of War on, that's fine, but I'm not going to be talking about it that way. If you notice on the left, you've got a Tree of Life, so Wizard's going to be trying to do a fast expansion here. And you've got, right now, Mad Frog coming with a lot of ghouls, and there's really not much that Wizard can do to stop this, so he's got to fall back into his base and hope that his buildings can help fight this off. Now, Wizard's hoping to draw him back and keep him away from the expansion, obviously. Mad Frog, now, here you're going to see And I don't know, some people might say, oh, he's hacking, because, you know, why else would he go over there? A lot of Night Elves do the fast expansion this way, where they'll build a Tree of Life off away from the expansion, and where he's got that Tree of Life is the most likely spot for it to be, and as you can see, I just think Mad Frog comes over here to look for it. And now, a good move here by Mad Frog is that he's got a Rod of Necromancy with him. So now he's going after the Tree of Life. Now, the tree's got heavy armor, but it eats that tree, and it's got a bunch of wisps with it healing it, so there's no way that's going to go down. Better idea for Mad Frog here would have been to go after the archers, kill the archer really quickly, or at least force him to Shadow Meld. If you can force him to Shadow Meld, then you've got him, you know, right where you want him to use the Dust of Appearance to kill him off real quick before the Warden can teleport them out of the way. And here you're going to see Mad Frog's got some of his ghouls going after the Warden, others going after the trees, a little bit of poor micro there, but now he's going after the archers with some, the Wardens with other. Now, the Warden's really low on hit points. The Death Knight gets so close to being able to kill it here. The Death Knight's going to end up getting 75 mana, but he's going to have his ghouls run right in front of him. And he gets owned by that. That always hurts to know that you could have killed the Warden, but you get owned by your own units. Now, I can't guarantee that he would have killed the Warden. It's quite possible that Wizard was expecting it, and as soon as the Death Knight wound up for the coil, you know, double-click the Town Portal scroll, and you teleport out of the way, and that's a waste of 75 mana then. But, you know, who knows. So here you can see Wizard had his tree rooted, which is a good idea, because then it's got fortified armor, but then he uproots it for some reason, so now he's got to grab a tree so he can try eating. Gets a nice surround on the Warden there. I think he's going to get out of this. Yeah, the Priest goes and uses Abolish Magic on the Skeletons. Excellent idea, because it kills them in one hit then. Now, here's a brilliant idea. He uses the Warden to teleport over the Tree of Life that's right next to him. And I've seen that done in other matches before. I just can't remember who did it. But it's always, you can actually teleport to a Tree of Life that's walking, too. So, the tree doesn't have to stop either, so it's kind of nice that way. So, if you take a look just at the different bases, now you can basically figure out Wizard's going to get his expansion up because Mad Frog's leaving. And I believe Mad Frog gives up on trying to kill that thing for a while. And, as I was saying before, you kind of see that Wizard was expecting ghoul-garg from this, because he's got a lot of archers. Granted, he is quite a bit low on wood. He doesn't have any wood wisps at all, since he had to pull all of his wisps. I'm sorry, he's got 2 wood wisps. One at the mercenary camp and one in the north or so. But most of his wisps were taken off to try and heal up the Tree of Life, and actually lost about 3 or so of them. Taking a look back at the Death Knight, he's just going to do a little bit of creeping. Level 3 coil is really important in this matchup, because you can just pick off archers or druids of the Talon with 1 coil and no worries, and then the Death Knight's not going to get caught, because if you've got level 3 coil, you've got level 2 in Holy Aura. And the Lich, it's kind of a toss-up in what you want to do. You can power creep with the Death Knight to try and get him up to the level 3 coil as fast as possible, which means you'd have to leave the Lich out. Or you could bring the Lich in. The Lich's Frost Nova right in the middle of the archers will really hurt, simply because of the fact that they won't be able to get away from the ghouls then. And if you can do that, I guess it just kind of depends on your playstyle. If you want to do hit and run, where you just kind of pick off archer after archer, you want to go with the level 3 coil. If you actually want to get into a battle and feel that you can out-micro them, you can, you know, win the battle that way, you're going to want to go with the Lich with the Frost Nova, because you can root the archers in place, makes it harder for them to dance around. You can just take them out with the ghouls that way. And then, obviously, going along with the whole, you know, with the Lich in the battle idea, is getting up to tier 3 for Frenzy and adding a Crypt Lord with Impale, because if you can get that Crypt Lord in a good position for an Impale, you can impale everything in the way, run the ghouls by, get them right in the middle of the archers, and they're finished, basically. Because the Impale plus the Nova, and then the ghouls will just rip them apart. Real big problem in this matchup, in my own experience, though, is the Druids of the Talon. Because the Druids of the Talon, there's 2 problems with them. The biggest problem, in my opinion, is that they signal that basically you're going to be seeing Chimeras soon, because they're on the tech tree to Chimeras. And then the 5 armor reduction really hurts ghouls, because even though ghouls don't have any armor, if you don't upgrade them, it actually increases the amount of damage that they take. No! And here you can see that the ghouls, he's going to go after the Tree of Ages, and I honestly didn't think that he'd be able to pull this off. Wizard probably should have teleported here, but he didn't have a teleport, so I guess like, he really can't do anything about that. You saw at one point, he took the wisps and tried to repair the tree, and then he teleported out. Or then he moved them away, and now he's moved them back to try and repair it. And I think that's what's going to end up losing him the tree here. But, I don't know, the archers picking off ghouls quickly could have really done a lot of damage, but losing that Tree of Ages is really going to hurt Wizard here. Even though he does have his expansion up now, he doesn't have the resource advantage anymore, and he's lost his tech as well. So, if you look back, now you can see that there's a Lich training, and it looks like, because of taking on that tree, Mad Frog's going to decide, okay, now I can fight his army, because I know, right, his production is going to be stunted quite a bit. Or at least it's going to be on par with mine, because I know he has an expansion, I don't have an expansion, but now he doesn't have his main base anymore. And you can see he's going to add in statues. Statues are obviously a necessity, especially when facing a Warden with Fan of Knives. Best place to face a Warden with Fan of Knives, in my opinion, is on Blight. You might want to even think about grabbing a Sacrificial Skull so that you can use that. Because with the increased regeneration of the Blight plus Unholy Aura plus the statues, you can really negate that Fan of Knives. I mean, it's not going to be perfect. If you really want to, shrug off with Fan of Knives, bring some Scrolls of Healing, put one on each hero that you have with you. Every time Fan of Knives goes off, use one. Your ghouls are never going to lose hit points to the Fan of Knives then. Granted, it's kind of expensive, but, the only other option you have is nuking the Warden. And, lately I've been seeing a lot of Night Elf players going with Shadow Strike and Fan of Knives. I'm not quite sure why they do that, but it definitely makes it harder for the Warden to survive. But if you see here, Wizard's got Ruined Bracers, so that's definitely going to help him out a lot. And that Scroll of Beast is going to increase the damage to the archers by quite a bit. You see they're getting it at +4 now, but that's just not going to be enough to stop the ghouls. The ghouls are frenzy because he's in tier 3 right now. And as you see Nova going off right in the middle of those archers there, he's just going to pick those archers off and rip them apart. Wizard really needed to teleport earlier. He should have just teleported at the beginning of the battle, in my opinion. Instead, he waits until his Warden is almost dead and loses most of his archers because of it. And then, right now, it's nighttime. I mean, if that battle had happened like 5 minutes later, he could have hidden all of his archers and then teleported. And of course, you still have the problem that Death Knight has his Dust of Appearance. So, it's going to be kind of hard to avoid that. Now here you got 2 archers and a level 5 Warden up against all of these ghouls, plus a level 3 Death Knight and level 2 Lich. So the only thing really keeping Wizard alive here right now is his Warden. And the only thing keeping the Warden alive is the Ruined Bracers, because without those, that nuke probably would have finished him off there. Not to mention the fact that it only survived at about 5 hit points last time. Looking at the expansion of Wizard, he realizes he's not going to be able to save his base, so what he's going to do here is he's going to try and stall as long as possible, and hope that Mad Frog's just going to kind of relax and think he's got the game won, even though, like I said, Mad Frog knows that Wizard has that expansion. If he didn't know Wizard had that expansion, this might work a little bit better. I mean, Mad Frog might have relaxed a little bit more. But as you can see, just Fan of Knives, and then Shadow Strike on the ghouls, and down goes the ghoul. The only problem stopping the Warden here is that it won't have enough mana, and all of his wells are gone, except for the one at the very bottom. So it looks like, Wizard's going to run there, try and grab that now. He's going to end up getting, I think it's just enough for Fan of Knives. Nope, he's actually just a little bit short of it. So he might wait around to just get that last fan off. Nope, he's just going to run it. Not a bad idea, just running it, in my opinion. I mean, you got to try and keep whatever you can alive. I mean, this is not best of 3, it's not best of 5. It's this game and this game only. So, I mean, you really want to try and hold on to as much as you possibly can. But as you can see right now, he's got 2 Ancients of War, and he's got a 3rd one going out. And you're going to see something really funny. I don't know if he just did this for the comedic value of the replay, or it really works what he did here. It's a great defense. And the only problem is you really can't go on the offense with it. What he's going to do is he's going to make like 3 or 4 extra Ancients of War. Now the Ancients of War have Nature's Blessing, or at least he upgrades it sometime in here. So they're going to have 7 armor. They're going to have heavy armor when they're uprooted. Yeah, he's got it already. So now you've got 7 armor, 1,000 hit point units with you. So that's basically like Abominations with a lot of armor. Which is, excellent. The only thing is they attack and move so slow, it's not even funny. But they're great tanks to keep the ghouls away from the archers, especially with them moving around. You can try and keep the archers behind the Ancients, and then the ghouls will have to try and either cut down the Ancients or try and run by them, in which case he'll be taking swipes from them. And as you can see, Mad Frog really does not want to get himself locked in the base, because that Fan of Knives, which Wizard keeps going off with that a little bit, like, his timing wasn't that great, and it could have been lag. It just could have been that he was trying to anticipate things. But I mean, between the Fan of Knives, archers focusing, and the extra Ancients of War around to focus on the ghouls, he really had a good chance of defending his base there. And Mad Fog realizes this and decides he's going to go and creep. He needs higher level heroes. Because if he can get that level 3 coil, then he doesn't have to worry about the archers at all, because you can just run in there, take your Death Knight, coil on the archers, run back. You just keep doing this over and over. In the meantime, you've got the fact that Mad Frog's obviously got the tech advantage. He's got 2 heroes compared to 1, even though they are lower leveled. He's got free reign of the map. He can go and do whatever he wants right now, and Wizard's not going to be able to stop him, because the little bit of archers that he does have, while good enough to defend the base with the Ancients and Moonwells, really isn't going to be enough to be able to go and attack Frenzied Ghouls, especially Frenzied Ghouls with armor upgrades. And here you're going to see, basically this is going to be the last battle of the matchup, but you can just take a look at that by seeing the status bar of the replay or whatnot. So Mad Frog is creeping right now. He's just getting out that Goblin Laboratory and just finished doing that right now. The Death Knight is level 3. It looks like he was trying to get the Lich the extra level. I don't know if he wanted level 4 or whatnot, but he definitely moved his Death Knight away for some reason. And a good item for Lich is Rune Bracer, so now basically Shadow Strike's useless against that. That Warden's in big trouble. She gets nuked. Now the archers are going to try and pick off the ghouls, so just focusing one by one. The Warden's going to use Phantom Knives, but that Scroll Protection is going to save the ghouls from anything the archers can do, because right now they've got 4 armor. They're in the middle of the archers. Nova goes off, so you're attacking slower, you're moving slower. There's really nothing that Wizard can do to stop this. And I don't play much NightElf, so I really can't help you on what could have worked against this. Huntresses early on, in my opinion, would have helped to stave off the ghouls. Perhaps some of the heavier mercenaries, like maybe not so much the Rock Golem, although the Rock Golem's slow could have helped, but also like the Ogre could have helped as well. Wizard lost a lot of resources early on with his fast expansion attempt, and it's just, you can just see the player intuition that Mad Frog has, and even some of the other Gosus, most of the other Gosus, I should say. You just sit there and you can watch, and they know what's going to happen. They know what their opponent's going to do and what they should do with it. I mean, you go and watch the final series of Mad Frog versus 4K Grubby. Both opponents know exactly what the other's doing. They don't really do much scouting, but when they do scout, it's exactly the right time. Like, Mad Frog will send 4 or 5 ghouls to an expansion, see the expansion is going up, kill the expansion right away. I mean, it's just amazing, and it's just something, I don't know if it's inherent or if it just comes from playing so many games. But it's definitely something that I think you could train yourself in, and it's a great thing to train yourself in. Just looking at an Undead standpoint here, a good way to start learning how to do this would be to start using shades. You start using shades, you send shades around, you see what players are doing, you can watch replays, see how other players react, like when they expand, based on what you have, what your opponent's going to build, and such like that. And like I said, using your shades, you're going to be able to see this in your own games as well. And then off of that, you can weed the shades out and just start, basically guessing, sending a ghoul here or there every once in a while, and seeing what your opponent's doing and being able to counter that at the same time. And also being able to predict when your opponent's going to attack you, when he's going to go and creep, when he's going to sit in his base. So basically you're going to be able to understand when you can expand, what you should build at your expansion, the types of towers, how many towers, all those different things. Just comes with a lot of practice, and basically with the practice will come the intuition to be able to handle the different situations like that. So I hope that this replay helped you guys a little bit. Sorry it's Undead again. Like I said, it's what I know best, basically. But it is a little bit different. Like I said, I'm not the one playing in it. So I'll talk to you guys later, and hopefully you enjoyed the commentary.